Oh, we're going to be
John's here.
8:15.
8:15.
Yay, John.
Oh my gosh, we're on already.
What's your guess? What's your preference?
Hour.
Hour?
Yeah, we'll be done in an hour.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 21st, 2018 Muscatine City Councilman. Cinda, will you please do the roll call? Council meeting, I'm sorry, not meeting.
Councilmember Spread,
Present.
Harvey,
Present.
Rockert,
Present.
Saucedo,
Present.
Brackett,
Present.
Fitzgerald,
Present.
and Malcolm.
Present.
7 present, 0 absent, Your Honor.
Thank you, Cinda. Will you please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. First off, we have something that's very pleasing to all of us. We have a presentation of the Arthur Sidney Bedell Award to John Cook by Mr. Jay Brady. Please come up to the podium. I think we have a photographer in the back of the room.
Thank you, Council, Mayor. I'm here on behalf of the Iowa Water Environment Association to present the Arthur Sidney Bedell Award to John Cook, Director of the Muscatine Water Pollution Control Plant. A little bit about the award. It's a prestigious award. The Arthur Sidney Bedell Award was established to acknowledge extraordinary personal service to a member association of the Water Environment Federation. The award is named for Arthur Sidney Bedell, the second president of the Water Environment Federation, who exemplified its purpose by his long devotion and service to the New York Sewage and Industrial Waste Association. Candidates for the award exhibit strong organizational leadership, administrative service, membership activity, stimulation of technical functions, and are highly active in the Iowa Water Environment Association. John Cook has exemplified the qualities of a Bedell Award winner. A little bit about John. We all know him and love him. And it's my job up here to try to embarrass him and make him blush a little bit here. He has served for the last 5 years on the association's executive board and is currently president. He has served as the IWEA Region 6 director. He is actively involved in representing IWEA WEF in the National Water Policy Fly-ins to Washington, D.C. He led the association in strategic planning this past year. And in addition to the association leadership and participation, he has demonstrated strong leadership to the Muscatine area water and natural environments, including, as director of the plant, he oversees 18 employees, maintaining, operating, and improving the treatment plant and multiple pump stations that convey and process wastewater into clean water necessary to maintain a healthy river. Muscatine's treatment plant is viewed as progressive across the state with recognition for the strong equipment maintenance program and a nationally recognized land applications biosolid program. John embraces the community and has been actively involved in creating and implementing visions for the benefit of the whole community, including MARV, his big project, Muscatine Area Recovery, Resource Recovery for Vehicles and Energy, to reduce or eliminate organic waste streams being sent to the landfill for the creation of economical, clean, and renewable vehicle fuel. He has also helped to organize the Muscatine Pollinators Project. That is a group to create pollinator habitats. He helped to create the first pollinator park in Muscatine. I was down there a few weeks ago helping plant some plants. It's coming along really very nicely. And last but not least, as stormwater manager for the city, he is leading us to more sustainable and environmentally friendly ways of managing stormwater. We realize that John doesn't do all of this on his own. He would be the first to recognize all the helping hands that contribute to these projects and the support that the city has provided him to go on these endeavors. But he is the true catalyst for moving these visions forward. Congratulations and thank you, John.
John, please come up and give us a chance to congratulate you. Congratulations.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, John.
Congratulations, sir.
We always knew he was a keeper. Next, I would like to introduce to you Beverly Griffith. She is the new Muscom manager.
Well, good evening. Y'all are about my second city council meeting, and the others were practice because this one has a microphone. Again, I'm Beverly Griffith. I'm the new manager for the Muscatine County Joint Communications. For those of you that aren't familiar, we handle all of your 911 services throughout the county, along with administrative calls. We take care of the radios and towers for Muscatine County that have to do with law enforcement and first responders. It's been great so far to meet everyone. I've had wonderful assistance so far from everyone, from the different cities, different departments. I've made it to several of the volunteer fire department meetings, also, again, city council meetings, and just trying to get in touch with people and foster that relationship between the agencies that we serve. So I'm excited. It's only been 2 weeks, but I emailed you what
Yes.
I've done so far in these
Ton of
2
things.
weeks. And I think there's just a lot more that I'm going to be covering, and everybody's going to say, woohoo.
We
So,
already are, Beverly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
I've
so
got
much.
cards for all of
Please
you.
bring them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much.
No, I didn't.
Well, Beverly has certainly hit the ground running, and we're so happy she's on board. Thank you, Beverly. We're going to go ahead and move along with tonight's agenda. Is there anyone here tonight who would like to speak to council about something that's not already on tonight's agenda? Well, I don't hear anybody, so we're going to keep moving. We're on number 5. The following items are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event it will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda, which includes items 6A and B, items 8A through D, items 12A through E, and tonight's bills totaling $1,751,197.09?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Harvey with a second by Councilman Saucedo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with all ayes. We're going to move along down to number 7. We have a couple of public hearings tonight. The first public hearing concerns the proposed Hauser Street parking and athletic field grading project. This project consists of a parking facility with up to 200 or more parking spots, enhancing the safety features of the street crossings and grading of 4 field areas on the 17.7-acre tract located along Hauser Street across from Kent Stein Park and the soccer complex. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Hearing no comments, do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion to close this public hearing by Councilman Spread with a second by Councilwoman Brockert. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The The motion to close this public hearing carries with all ayes. 7B. The next public hearing concerns the proposed PCC full-depth concrete patching project. The City of Muscatine has compiled a list of streets to be full-depth concrete patched during fiscal year 2019. The estimated cost of this contract is $800,000, and it is structured to allow the work to stop when the amount is reached. Prior to any formal action by City Council, a public hearing is required. Now is the time for the public to comment. Hearing nothing, do I have a motion to close?
Move to close, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion to close the public hearing by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Saucedo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with all ayes. We're going to move down to 11A. Presented for City Council's consideration is the second reading of an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 5, Section 9, Subsection D of the City Code. The current City Code states that all dogs in city parks be kept on a leash no longer than 6 feet. With the opening of the new dog park, this amendment allows for dogs to be let off leash in the areas so designated by the Parks and Recreation Department, such as the dog park. Is there a motion to approve the second reading of this ordinance as submitted?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Councilman Oz with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
The motion carries with all ayes. We're on 11B. Presented for City Council's consideration is the first reading of an ordinance decreasing the utility franchise fee from 5% to 2%. The fiscal year budget for 18-19 included an increase in utility franchise fees to cover the city's loss of income from the University Avenue and Highway 61 ATE camera. The Iowa court recently ruled in favor of the city's appeal of the Iowa Department of Transportation's order for removal of this camera. Based on City Council discussion at the in-depth meeting last week, it is now proposed that the franchise fee be reduced from 5% to 2%. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of this ordinance as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Saucedo. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have a short comment, just that I would encourage anyone who's not in attendance tonight and who has access to the website to review the supportive memorandum. There's a lot of detailed information there, and this was the subject of considerable discussion during the budget hearings. During the 14 months that the camera was turned off at University, we gave up significant revenue. We also spent significant dollars on legal defense, and we remain at risk for future action of the legislature. We don't know that they're going to allow those ATVs to exist in the future, and we don't know that they'll be able to honor their commitment to backfill the rollback of commercial property taxes. So for those reasons, I intend to be a no vote. But again, I'm just asking everybody to be informed. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, Councilman Malcolm, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Spread?
Nay.
Councilman Harvey?
Nay.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
The motion carries with 5 ayes, 2 nays. We're on 11C. Presented for City Council's consideration is the first reading of an ordinance to establish sewer and collection and drainage fee rates for fiscal years 18-19 through 22-23. A sewer rate study was presented to Council at the in-depth meeting last week, recommending that rates be increased over the next 5 years in order to maintain acceptable funding levels. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of this ordinance as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Saucedo. Is there any discussion?
I have a couple questions, Your Honor. I was wondering, in reading this, how does the city handle additions, for instance, that aren't connected to the system? And how do you handle particular homeowners that have septic systems and they're not connected to the system? Do they not get charged?
Septic systems aren't allowed in the city. We have very few of them. Some of them are grandfathered in.
There
but
are some, though.
Well, like 2. So, and they do pay the fee. They don't pay, they pay the minimum fee. They are required to pay the minimum fee if they're in city limits, even if they have a septic system.
So they pay for something they're not getting.
Correct. Because we're allowing them to not connect. It costs them a lot more money to actually have to connect, which is under ordinance. So in lieu of that, we're letting them pay the fee and not connect. At time of transfer of these properties, we do make them connect.
I'm asking because one time I lived in an addition within the city, and we all had septic systems, and we asked to be connected to the system, but the city wouldn't do it because of the cost of putting in the sewer. So that's prompted my question now is, you know,
There are several subdivisions within the city limits that are private subdivisions that have private roads and private sewers. I now live in that same subdivision, so there are septics, there's no sewer, there's municipal water and private roads. So the HOA is responsible for both the water and the sewer and the streets.
But you're probably getting charged for this. Apparently you're getting charged for the fee?
No, that's a separate issue.
That's a separate issue because we're in a private subdivision and the city is not responsible for the roads or the utilities within that subdivision.
Okay,
Anything else?
that's all.
Thank you, John. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Saucedo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Spread?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
The motion carries with all ayes. 11D. Presented for City Council's consideration tonight is the first reading of an ordinance amending Title 13, Chapter 3, Section 11 for refuse collection fees. City Council approved the first year 18-19 rate increase by the fiscal year of 18-19 by resolution at the April 19th, 2018 meeting. The city attorney has advised that going forward, all utility rate changes be done by ordinance. This ordinance incorporates the rate change effective July 1 of 2018. That rate increase is 50 cents per month. Regular customers right now pay $20. It's going to go to $20.50. Senior citizens pay $15. It's going to go to $15.50. Is there a motion to approve the first reading of this ordinance as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Saucedo with a second by Councilman Spread. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brockert, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilman Spread?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
The motion carries with all ayes. Next, we have presented for City Council's consideration a resolution accepting a quitclaim deed from the Kent Corporation Charitable Foundation to the City of Muscatine. The Kent Corporation Charitable Fund is making a donation of 17.7 acres of land to the City of Muscatine. This land will be used for the Hauser Street parking expansion and safety enhancement project. This project is being funded by a grant from the Roy J. Carver Charitable Trust and the City of Muscatine as approved in the budget. Is there a motion to approve this resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Saucedo with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion?
Just a comment from me as far as the fact of thanking the Kent Corporation in regards to the charitable donation and all the staff that's worked through on that. I think there's a lot of hard work from many departments, and I want to thank them for that, and I think this will be a great addition to the soccer fields. And more than just soccer fields, I think but the parking as well.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would echo that. I think this will help out a lot down in that area. The people that I've talked to utilizing the facilities down there and looking for places to park will greatly appreciate this.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no other discussion, Councilman Malcolm, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilman Spread.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11F. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution approving the plans, specifications, form of contract, and cost estimate for the Hauser Street Parking and Athletic Field Grading Project, which we just had a public hearing on. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Brockert with a second by Councilman Spread. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. I will just encourage, before we do any paving or anything like that, that we make sure we don't have future underground utilities addressed where the paving may have to be broken up again. And then I do have a question. Are there going to be additional, if nothing else, security lights for that parking lot?
We are currently working with Musco on a lighting plan for the site.
Okay.
Okay.
So any underground for those would be hopefully.
There's conduit,
Taken care of.
in the plan, there's conduit in place both for water extension and for electrical.
Okay.
But that's not in these drawings.
It's not in the ones that were attached to the. but
They're not in
the
here, though.
ones that
That's what
came
we're
in-
asking last week.
The one that came in this afternoon does show them, and Rich does have those in it.
The drawings you have are 80% drawings. The ones that came in
Okay.
later today are 90%, and you can see them. I have them here if you'd like. They have the conduit in place.
That's all we're asking, just same thing that Alan's asking. We just, if there's future potential, which we know there's gonna be for lights and for pier foundations or potential conduit that runs underneath there, we don't wanna have that come back next
No, we
year
don't.
and say, hey, we need to tear up some concrete or we need a directional bore if we can avoid it.
Right.
Thank you, Rich.
You're welcome.
Hearing no other discussion, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Malcolm.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11G. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution to approve the plans, specifications, form of contract, and cost estimate for the Portland Cement Concrete, PCC, full-depth concrete patch project that we just did a public hearing on. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Harvey. Is there any discussion?
Just a comment that I had requested last, I think when we first had this come through. We were gonna get some information on the roads. Okay, you have that? Okay, if you can just share that probably either through an email or something to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11H. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution establishing the sales process for the sale of surplus property. On June 7th of this year, the City Council declared the Old Musser Public Library as surplus property. The city now plans to dispose of this property by public auction. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Malcolm with a second by Councilman Harvey. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11I. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution authorizing the assessment of unpaid abatement costs to private properties. Periodically, the city takes action to assess unpaid nuisance abatement costs to private properties. The nuisance abatement costs for snow, junk, and weed removal total $4,033.21. The administrative fees are $950 and the assessment fees are $1,900. The total fees being requested for assessment at this time total $6,883.21. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilwoman Brockert. Is there any discussion?
I have a question, Your Honor. This administrative fee of $950, how do you come to that fee? Where's a lot of paper.
$25 for each one, I believe.
That's correct. There's an administrative cost to process things and try to collect the bill. And then the $50 per, it could be a series of different violations. Each one of them is 25, but it may be $50 on top of that for all of them. In this particular assessment report, that's 2 months. Last month, we didn't have hardly any, so we didn't necessarily bring it forth to City Council. So this is 2 months worth of activity. But $25 is the basic cost of our administration, and the $50 is, bringing it over, getting it recorded, and all those other things.
Okay.
So there's a $25 fee and a $50 fee for each occurrence.
If they get to this point, yes. Generally, if it's before this point, we'll only be charging the $25 administrative fee.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Hearing no other discussion, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11J. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution accepting the transfer of property located at 500 Mulberry and to declare it as surplus property. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Finally.
Wow, jumped on that one.
Third.
We have a motion by Councilman Spread with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Malcolm, how do you vote? Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
And Councilman Spread.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11K. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution setting a public hearing for July 5th of 2018 at 7 p.m. right here in the City Hall Council Chambers on the development agreement and tax increment payments for the Tiff Oak Park Incorporated. The city proposes to enter into a development agreement with Tiff Oak Park in connection with the construction of multifamily housing in the urban renewal area that is affordable to seniors of low and moderate income. This agreement would provide financial incentives to the developer in the form of annual appropriation incremental property tax payments in an amount not to exceed $497,445. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Harvey with a second by Councilman Saucedo. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Provided this resolution goes to fruition and I have no doubt that it will. When would construction actually begin?
There's a couple additional items that'll need to take place. One, ultimately at the council table, we'll need to add a TIF district. Typically, we do that first, but we'll have to add a TIF district, and this still has to go through planning and, is it ZBA or planning and zoning?
Can you help us, Andrew?
And then back
Here.
to city council.
Yeah, Mayor, members of council. So, for those that, last year, this property was initially rezoned into the RL zoning district. And essentially that's a two-step zoning process. So the council approved that preliminary development plan last year. Now what they are required to do is develop their fully engineered site plan, bring it back through P&Z, have a public hearing in front of P&Z, then bring it back to you for your final approval. I believe that they are currently targeting the July P&Z meeting to move that process along. I've had the initial staff review of that, so.
So if everything moves as you expect, in answering Councilwoman Brockert's question, when would you anticipate that they would begin construction? As a guess.
I believe they indicated they would be completed by the end of 2019 with the project, but I don't have.
I believe that's what they would like. Yeah, I would. End of August, September is probably the earliest where I would, just looking at what they have to do, I mean, I don't.
Could you refresh my memory, Andrew? How many units were they planning on constructing?
I believe it's either 46 or 48.
Okay, thank you.
Andrew, while you're up there, we'd had a discussion from neighbors, I think, when they first came in regards to the drainage, of the way that slopes into either I think into the IZIT or in the main road across between Oak Park and that development. Are we going to have that prior to this approval addressed in their construction plans, or how are we going to make sure that this
So
drainage?
in the RL, in the final development plan that they will be submitting, will be coming to you later this summer, there will be the full engineered drainage plan. That's gone through the initial staff review and was sent back to them with comments, so we're awaiting their next iteration of that.
So the
But ultimately, you see that and would approve it before they could proceed to construction.
Okay.
So
The tax increment financing and the TIF district would be contingent upon, or at least the agreement would be contingent upon completion of that portion as well.
Okay. Yeah, just make sure that we address that so we don't go through and then have issues with that drainage later.
Yep, we're working on it.
Thank you, Andrew.
Just a minute, Andrew.
Sorry, Councilman Brackett.
Has there been any change in the opinion of the residents in that area? The last I recall, there was maybe 2 of the surrounding residents that were in favor, and the rest had been pretty oppositional to this development.
You know, I'm not really able to speak with, I know that the developer privately met with them, I think it was on a Saturday 2 weeks ago, to kind of give them an update, but I was not at that, so.
Okay.
But what we will be doing is a week before whatever P&Z meeting they get on, which right now would be they're targeting the second Tuesday in July, is all the residents within 200 feet will get mailed the updated plan and notified of P&Z hearing because that's their next opportunity to publicly comment, so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Hearing no other discussion, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Brackett?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11L. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution approving an engineering agreement with Bolton and Mink for the airport hangar design and bid and construction oversight. The city is preparing to build 4 commercial hangars at the Muscatine Airport. This design agreement is for an amount not to exceed $22,000. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second. We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Spread. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilman Saucedo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert.
Aye.
Councilman Harvey.
Aye.
Councilman Spread.
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm.
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald.
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're on 11M. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution accepting the dedication of right-of-way from DG Partners. An exchange agreement between the City of Muscatine and DG Partners was approved at the May 17th council meeting. This agreement allows DG Partners an easement for the placement of a dumpster enclosure and truck dock in exchange for dedication of an additional 20 feet of right-of-way to the City of Muscatine along Warren Street between Grandview Avenue and Liberty Street. The additional right-of-way will be used for the sidewalk trail project. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Brockert with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We are now on 11N. Presented for City Council's consideration is a resolution approving the final plat for Mulberry Meadows Family Farm subdivision. This proposed subdivision is located in the unincorporated Muscatine County, but falls within the 2-mile limit requiring the City of Muscatine to review and approve. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as submitted?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Saucedo with a second by Councilman Harvey. Any discussion? Hearing none, Councilman Spread, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Harvey?
Aye.
Councilwoman Brockert?
Aye.
Councilman Saucedo?
Aye.
Councilman Malcolm?
Aye.
Councilman Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And Councilman Brackett.
Aye.
The resolution is adopted with all ayes. We're now on 11O. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve an exchange agreement with Eastern Iowa Community College District Foundation. The foundation agrees to deed a parcel of land to the City of Muscatine, and in exchange, the city will construct a temporary driveway on the foundation's remaining property that will be replaced with a permanent driveway as part of the Grandview Avenue Corridor project. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Harvey, or Saucedo, I'm sorry, with a second by Councilman Harvey. Is there any discussion?
I have one question. Will that new driveway require approval by the IDOT? No? Okay.
They answered no for the folks at home. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. 11P. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve an amendment to the Business Office Operations Agreement with Peter Troost Monument Company Incorporated. Did I say that right, Rich? Doing business as Iowa Memorial Granite Company for Greenwood Cemetery. The requested amendment extends the term of the agreement by 2 years, July 2018 through June 30th of 2020, and it also includes an increase from $600 a month to $610 per month. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Who said that?
In unison.
Okay. Councilman Malcolm. We have a motion by Councilman Malcolm with a second by Councilman Fitzgerald. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11Q. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the amendment to the retail sales and service agreement and lease with Peter Troost Monument Company doing business as Iowa Memorial Granite Company for Greenwood Cemetery. The requested amendment extends the agreement by 2 years, from July 1 of 2018 through June 30th of 2020. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
Stop it, Hebe.
Boy, you guys. We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second.
No.
That wasn't you? Was that you, Phil? We have a motion by Councilman Fitzgerald with a second by Councilman Harvey. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to clear up, there will be only one monthly payment of $610, since both resolutions mention it.
Well, the attachment was an error on the second one. There should have been a different attachment on the second one. It was changed later.
Okay. Although the agenda still calls for it.
Right.
Yes, it does.
The attachments were fine, it was just on the agenda.
Was it?
On both, yeah.
Okay. But we're straight now?
Yeah.
Yes. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11R. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the issuance of a purchase order to Musco Lighting in the amount of $59,954 for security lighting at the Muscatine Soccer Complex. The security lighting now in place at the soccer complex is the original from 1992. Several of the lights no longer work, and additional lighting is needed due to the Kentstein Park access that was later added. There is $60,000 budgeted for this expense. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Harvey. Is there any discussion?
Just one question that I have, Your Honor.
Okay.
Are we replacing lights then just at the soccer complex, or are we replacing lights also at Kentstein? The way it reads, it almost confuses me.
I think it's just the soccer complex
But then it says, yeah,
because there's another access into it.
okay.
The Causeway Trail was added years after the soccer complex was built to connect Kentstein and soccer at the back entrance. So at that back gate there is no light. So this would add a light there.
Okay.
That's why we mentioned Kentstein as a back entrance.
Okay, so this is a total, but it says 16 lights, is that correct?
I don't have that in front of me.
Okay,
So it's
all right.
replacing lights there and adding that light into it. And it's using existing Musco lights to retro some of those security lights off of.
Okay. Rich, that was my question. Is this replacing the old lights, or just replacing the old ones that don't work and then adding some more?
These are replacing the security lights, not the
Just
field,
right.
not the field lights, yep. Just the security lights.
So I assume they'll be LED, et cetera, then probably?
They will be LEDs, yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Rich. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11S. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the City of Muscatine's insurance renewal for fiscal year 1819. The primary package lines of coverage will be renewed with ICAP, which is Iowa Communities Assurance Pool. This includes the addition of the Housing Authority to the ICAP line. Additionally, workers' compensation coverage will be renewed with the Iowa Municipalities Workers' Compensation Association. And just to clarify a little bit on the finances, the insurance did go up a little bit, but it's actually a cost savings since we put the Housing Authority in with it. We actually resulted in a $26,000 cost savings. The workers' comp went up just a small amount, and that just was because there's an increase in staff. So it was a good deal all around. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11T. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the removal of on-street parking on the north side of East 4th Street. Following the completion of Come and Go at 4th and Cedar Streets, there have been complaints regarding low visibility and narrow lanes turning onto East 4th from Cedar Street. For this reason, the Traffic Committee recommends removing all parking on the north side of East 4th Street from Cedar Street to Iowa Avenue. Parking will still be allowed on the south side of the street. Is there a motion to approve this request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Is there a second?
I second it.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Malcolm. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have a few questions.
And just a clarification, Your Honor, that should say from West 4th Street from Cedar to Sycamore.
Okay.
It should say West 4th Street?
It's east.
East 4th
I
Street.
thought it
but-
was east,
But it should be only to Sycamore.
not to Iowa Avenue.
Correct, just
So
the
you're
one
just doing
block.
the portion of where the actual coming goes at, in a
Yes.
sense. Okay, that's what I'm
Yeah, that's probably my
questioning.
error when I
You're
wrote
clo-
that.
you're closing it off all over here by the church, but that's not the case here.
No, that's an
One
error.
block, one block. Three parking spaces?
Depends on how they try to park in there, but yeah.
That's,
Is there another
So
question?
basically, you're saying the parking spaces that are closest to the gas station?
Yes.
Not not what you would consider then the north side is,
there's 2 parking spaces between the 2 entrances off of that street, and then there's one, or should be one parking spot as you first turn onto that street, but then as you saw in the pictures, there's a vehicle that typically parks into the no parking area as well.
When we started out with this, we put no parking at the corners to 40 feet because we were having trouble getting the Musca buses around the corner with cars parked there. What we found out is that it just isn't enough there, and with other cars trying to force their way in there, it just makes more sense, and it makes safety sense for people coming out of Come and Go to not have to look over the cars parked on the street before they turn left or right. And if we feel it just makes better sense to take the parking off on just that one block section on the Come and Go side of the street, if you will, from Cedar to Sycamore.
so how many parking spots will this be actually?
But how many were there before Come and Go was there?
Oh, we had that whole block, I
That's what
believe,
thought.
yeah.
So really, how many did we lose?
If I rem-
6.
If I remember right, we gained some though when
Oh, yeah,
on the other side,
there's
so
all
I mean,
kinds of-
We did,
it added.
yeah. Here, Andrew, go ahead.
Net, yes.
So when Come and Go got built, in exchange for that alley, they built us a 19 additional parking spots. But it was directly in compensation for the alley, but the other thing it was compensating us for is the number of on-street parking spots that we lost to the Come and Go project. So probably overall on that entire block, it's probably pretty close to even. We might even be up just a hair.
So in removing these parking spots, have we had any, you're saying near misses or incidents or accidents?
Oh, yeah, didn't we get an email today?
I'm not a fan of wanting to remove parking spots, is what I'm.
This is an issue every day that I deal with, so
Okay.
in my opinion, it needs to be pulled off. People are encroaching on the turn in to Come and Go,
Okay.
and they're also parking, like you saw today. That's an everyday occurrence.
So those spaces are always filled?
The spots on the Come and Go side?
Yes.
Yeah, usually with 4, when there's really only room for 3.
So are they
So
go ahead.
they're being used
That's
a
the
lot.
only
That's what I'm
street,
worried about.
that's the only street that Come and Go has surrounding it that has parking on it. And it's an issue.
Are we ticketing those people that are parking in the no parking areas?
Yes, we are.
And they still park there?
They still park there.
Oh, for pity's sake.
So so all the spaces around there are taken and there's nothing left? Is
There's
that the
plenty of
problem?
parking, you know, we removed parking on Fifth Street to the other side. There was one vehicle there all day today. So there's plenty of parking on that side. They just choose, because it's a block closer, to park illegally.
And there's typically parking on Sycamore as well.
Right.
I would conclude that the parking is a daytime issue, because on the way to the council tonight, there was nobody parked in that entire block.
Yeah,
Right.
I drove up through there and I didn't see any.
But it's an issue during the day. And that's why I took the photos today. It was a prime example, so, and I knew we were talking about it tonight.
I see it every day too, because I drive right past there on my way to work in the morning and on my way home in the evening and
once-
lunch as
yeah.
well, and it's always like that. That's why I have no problem with this.
When somebody's at the stop sign getting ready to turn onto Cedar Street, you can hardly make that turn, so it's definitely an issue.
Yeah.
Also, when you're coming down Cedar Street towards the river, people pull out of there, and I've almost been hit several times because you can't see when
Right.
people are close to the end there.
Yeah, and overall though, at the number of spaces, I think Andrew was right. I don't think it really changed much because of how many we gained.
Just 3.
So, yeah.
But
wonder
we
if you-
lost some too,
Right.
besides
but
the
they added
alley.
some, but they put so many more in.
But I thought we ended up with net when it was all said and done, or up 1 or 2. I mean, yeah, up 1 or 2, not a lot. And so now if we lose 3,
Then we're right about even.
you're right.
And again, on Fifth Street, 1 or 2 cars a day maybe during the day. So there's plenty of spots.
It'd be interesting to see how long it takes them to realize there's no parking.
Oh, usually the first day somebody will park there. So,
If they're
Probably
not,
our
if they're
spot.
ignoring the signs now.
yeah, exactly. It's not unlike a lot of places in town though. I mean, there's some intersections that are issues constantly, so, and we try to address them, but
Sure.
When we built this road, though, and we redid it, Jim, is it the same width that we'd had before? So, other than just the gas station traffic is what's changed for us, that's created this, correct?
I've been here almost 30 years and it's pretty narrow anyway, so. But yeah, with the
It
come and
was a
go, it makes it that
problem
much
before?
worse.
It was the problem before too there, though?
Yeah, it's always been a problem.
Well, that's a wide street. I mean, you think about, I don't see it being, when I drove through it, I didn't think it was extremely narrow compared to other roads we have. But
There is
this is what the
significant-
traffic committee is recommending. I'm not gonna, I just had those questions.
You have significantly more traffic today, though, than you did prior to this come-and-go location.
Right. There's always people zipping in and out of there all day long, so.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Thanks, Andrew. Any other discussion? Hearing nothing, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11U. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve the issuance of a purchase order in the amount of $5,653 to Primex Controls. The Water Pollution Control Plant received a bid from Primex Controls for a new control system for the plant drainage system in the amount of $10,313. The Water Pollution Control Plant has a credit of $4,660 with Primex, bringing the net cost to $5,653. Primex Control is the control system vendor for the Water Pollution Control Plant, making it vendor-specific, making it so that it does not require additional bids. There's a $10,000 budgeted for this project. Is there a motion to approve a request, or to approve this request as submitted?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Councilman Harvey with a second by Councilman Brackett. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11V. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve issuance of a purchase order to Zimmer and Francescan in the amount of $15,840 for the purchase of the Cannon Lift Station pump. The Water Pollution Control Plant received 3 bids for the replacement of this pump, and the low bid was from Zimmer and Francescan. There is $25,000 budgeted for this purchase. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Harvey. Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Go first.
You people tonight.
I thought we
Come
were-
on up, John.
I'm being really quiet tonight, I feel. So, my question on this is that's a big dollar difference between the low bid and what was budgeted, and is there any concern in that, or what was the range of the other bids that we received? You know, I'm just looking for explanation on.
Yeah, these pumps were from 1974, and they've been around for a long time, and you know, we thought, hey, we should probably upgrade these pumps to something a little bit better, a little spiffier, a little nicer, but they work. Why? And this pump was still being made, and it's it's just in better shape, and it's new, and so we went with the same pump, and it was a little bit cheaper than we anticipated, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we put a little extra in there just in case we wanted to do something better, but we couldn't find anything better than what already works.
Okay, that's
So you
perfect.
think, you say we're gonna get another 44 years out of that?
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
Councilman
works for
Harvey,
me.
did you have a question?
Yeah, John, are these on the speed control drives? These pumps?
I do not believe these are on a variable frequency drive now. These are soft starts, I believe they are.
And then, based on the background information, are you planning on replacing the second one next year?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Where is Cannon Lift at?
It's way down at the bottom, right by the river.
That's what I was wondering if it was. That's why I just
Yeah,
asked.
I wish I could tell you the name of it, Riverview Drive, whatever that road way down along the river is called.
But it's down on, off Cannon Street.
It's the very bottom of
Very
Cannon
bottom of
Street.
Cannon Street.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure just when you said that, that's all.
Little Pollinator Park right in front of it.
Oh, there, another shout out there for that. That's good. No problem with that, John. We'll
Thank you,
take that.
John. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11W. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to authorize the issuance of a purchase order for the 2018 paint striping project. Only one bid was received for this project in the amount of $67,523.34. This amount is over the budgeted $60,000 by $7,523.34. The contractor states that the cost of materials has gone up. Staff recommends approving the issuance of a purchase order to Weichert Contracting from Ackley, is that right? Ackley, Iowa, in the amount of $67,523.34. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Fitzgerald with a second by Councilman Brackett. Is there any discussion?
I did have a
Go ahead.
question.
I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
Brian, is there
There he
a
is.
concern that only one contractor was interested in bidding?
Well, that's always a concern. We'd obviously like to have more bidders.
Is this the first time, or do you know?
No, I believe this is the same vendor that bids pretty much every year and has gotten this contract for the last several years. I can't explain why others don't bid it, but we just haven't received many.
Makes you wonder whether, well, of course, he didn't know nobody else was gonna bid, but since his bid was higher than we
Right, this-
anticipated, makes you wonder,
This is the first time we've had an increase in I think 3 years or more, so it can kind of be expected, I guess,
Sure.
but, it's another question.
Councilman Brackett, did you have a question?
That was one of my questions. My other question is, do they provide any kind of, if the paint does not stay, is there any kind of guarantee for any period of time? Because I've had a number of people complain to me that they feel the lines disappear pretty quickly after they're painted in some areas.
I don't have that with me, but I can find out what
Okay.
the warranty period would be.
Okay.
And I can get back to you.
But there is some type of a warranty.
I don't know for sure. I will
Okay.
find out.
Thank you.
Hmm?
Anyone else?
And just to point out, some of this striping in town is done internally and or the painting, and then some of the striping is done or contracted out. This is mainly the street work.
Okay.
The crossings, et cetera. Public Works
Yeah,
does
city
most
staff
of
does a lot of the crosswalks, curbs, parking spots, things like that, kind of the smaller stuff. Our machine doesn't handle like the long line striping, like these are, longer stretches. That's more what this is based off of.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I just have a question. In regards to the discussion that we had in striping down on the riverfront, is that going to be part of this? Are they going to be doing any striping on the riverfront is what I'm asking?
On the riverfront, like,
As far as the new sections that we're putting in now?
that's done by the contractor. That'll be done once the contract
So this
and the
is not
pavement is
part of
done.
it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11X. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve issuance of a purchase order in the amount of $15,892.80 to Iowa Investments for the dog park parking lot project. 2 bids were received for this project, and Iowa was the low bid. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Saucedo. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We're on 11Y. Presented for City Council's consideration is a request to approve a contract with McDaniels Marketing for the marketing of Muscatine's attractions and events that have the potential to bring visitors to Muscatine. The current contract expires July 1 of 2018, and the CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau, is recommending that the City Council renew this contract for a 12-month period. Is there a motion to approve the request as submitted?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Brackett with a second by Councilman Spread. Is there any discussion?
Question, Your Honor. Do we have any metrics that show that we're getting a bang for a buck?
And just to clarify, while Jody Hansen comes up to the podium, the contract is for $27,440.
As far as metrics go, we are constantly working on that and looking at that. I can tell you that we have increased our website traffic. If you look at the summary, which would be in your packet, I believe that was from February through May. I compared the last 3 years, in 2016, 2017, 2018, within that same period, February to May, and our traffic to our website has increased substantially. I can get you those numbers if you'd like at a later time. I don't have them with me right now, but they have increased. Our hotel motel tax is steady. We'd obviously like to see that increase as much as possible, and we've had some really good quarters as of late. Is there anything specific as far as metrics go? Our Facebook likes have also grown substantially.
Not particularly, but I realized, you know, if a person comes to Muscatine, it's hard to know why they came to Muscatine. Even if they stay here, you don't know why, so.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a great question, and something that we'd like to continue to pursue and get some great metrics that we can start and grow from for the future. We've been very happy with McDaniels so far. The CVB Advisory Board has recommended the renewal of their contract. I believe I wasn't hired when we first initiated the contract with McDaniels, but in 2000, I believe that was, Greg, you might know that, 2016 with the original McDaniels contract?
I think it was.
Okay. I believe this, I don't have that, I wasn't, I would have to go back and look at that contract, but the last contract was from February through, it'll be through the end of June. So this new contract is actually for 12 months Facebook and 8 months Google. I believe this is going to be the longest period of time that they will be marketing Muscatine. So we will definitely, in your packet as well, McDaniels has provided some analytics of specific ads that they have run with Google as well as Facebook. And any questions you can give me a call at the chamber. I'd be happy to give you as much information as I can or clarify anything that you may have questions about. Yes.
Jody, in page 16 of page 25, it says actual McDaniels marketing contract amount would be $12,700 with Google and Facebook direct clicks removed. What does that mean?
So the way it's set up is we pay McDaniels a separate bill, and then the CVB, they also, they use the CVB, the Convention and Visitors Bureau credit card, and we get a bill for Google as well as Facebook. So we pay those entities separately from McDaniels, but McDaniels handles that. So the actual money going to McDaniels is that amount that you just stated. And the other is for the Facebook and Google, pay per click.
They
That's
create the ads
confusing still
and then you
because-
pay Facebook to place them on Facebook or Google, et cetera.
Because it shows in your total 27,440, but then it says 10 grand or 11 grand for Google AdWords, 15 grand for Facebook. That's why the highlighted yellow just confuses me as far as what actually is of the 27. Is 12,000 going to be for advertising, or is it 25,000?
The 12,000, I would have to have the contract in front of me, but the what they have highlighted goes directly to McDaniel's marketing. And then the rest we pay to Google and Facebook based pay-per-click.
Based on the clicks?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So from what I understand, that it won't surpass that dollar amount.
Okay. I just have...
Any other questions?
One question. This one, I don't know if this would be to you, Jody, or to Greg. Is this the same group that we're using for our branding that we're supposed to get our information back, or is this a different group?
Different group.
Different group.
And that's North Star. North Star's out of Tennessee.
Yep. And they're McDaniel's is Pekin, Illinois, and they also have an office, I believe, in Moline, Illinois. And we have used, if you would look at looked at your summary or continue to look at your summary, we have really, I think, extended the events that we're showcasing. So a lot of events, even though they're not in the proposal, they come up. So like the Harry Potter Festival, that wasn't in the last contract, but those are those kind of events that have the potential to bring in visitors. So we like to take advantage of those, and they've been really great to work with as far as like kind of hey, we have this great event. What can you do with it? And I'm pretty happy with. I'm happy with what they've presented to us for that.
Hi there.
Hi.
My question is, so basically, I still hear the same question that Councilman Harvey asked. We don't have any kind of quarterly report or monthly report so we can track progress or see if we're missing something with this. There's no numbers.
So Jody gets a report from both Google and Facebook regarding the clicks and any number of social media aspects of those.
But they're not compiled into a overall report.
So the summary that you received in your packet, that was the last contract. So the last contract was from February to the end of June, which you won't have June in that packet, but that will give you a summary of the clicks and the impressions that we've gotten.
And then Jody and the Chamber are working to put together a draft annual report that they can put out for the CVB, and including these kind of statistics as
yes.
well.
Okay.
Absolutely. And again, I welcome questions and suggestions. Anything that you may have a question about. If I don't have an answer, I would, definitely try to find out for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Jody.
Well, one more.
Yes.
I hesitate to ask this, but do we have, or are there plans to have a small walk-in building where visitors can come and get all sorts of information? Because I know some towns, if you go up and down the river, particularly if you go past the riverfront, you'll see an information booth, if you will.
Well, we would love for folks to stop into 100 West 2nd Street. That's the Convention and Visitors Bureau office, and located inside the Greater Muscatine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We actually, with the new brand that someone was just speaking about, we just received the brand, the logo, and it has Convention and Visitors Bureau on there. And then we actually had SignPro actually put a new sign in the window that you would be walking from the riverfront up up Iowa to 2nd Street. It says Visit Muscatine. So we do get quite a few folks stopping in for visitors guides, or just stumbled into town and want to find out more about Muscatine, and so they are directed to us. And we would love that, to have more folks come in to see us. As far as plans for a standalone building, I have not heard that. I don't have any knowledge of if that would be in the plans or not. I don't
either. But it might be a good idea when we redo the riverfront to have a touristy place, welcome center or whatever. So.
Greg, have you heard?
No, a number of communities have kiosks, or they have walking or biking folks as well, but that certainly takes people and dollars. So I think we're focusing on growing our hotel motel tax right now. And one of the things that a few years back, I guess the board and the staff had focused on was bringing forward marketing proposal to the community. Something that really had been lacking was marketing in Muscatine, and this was the initial effort was using McDaniels to do that and social media campaign. McDaniels is the firm that Quad Cities Convention and Visitors Bureau uses and recommends as well, and they've essentially gone to a wholly digital plan. Not that Muscatine has, but last I heard they had gone wholly digital in their marketing efforts using mainly McDaniels. So.
I know, like, McDaniels also offers other services. One of the things was be a visitor's guide. We actually produce that here in Muscatine. We're going to, at least for next year, continue to do that as well. So we will have some printed material to hand out to folks. But this is just another tool that we have to promote our attractions and events to folks that are outside of our community. Those areas targeted that you will see in your summary or the proposal are places that are around 4 hours away. Some of those Chicago, Des Moines, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, I believe, are some of the communities. So just looking to bring those folks in that can easily drive here and explore our community and all the treasures that we have.
And I would encourage folks, if they're having an event and bringing in out-of-town guests, to reach out to you at the Convention and Visitors Bureau for some of those visitors guides. I know Absolutely. I've spoken at a number of events lately where they handed them out to the guests so that they can see what we have to offer. And you provided those to all of them. So
we love when that happens. I don't have the exact count, but we got 5,000. I believe that was in February when we received those visitors guides. And last count, I have around 2,500 left. So in that short period of time, we've delivered or distributed about 2,500 guides, give or take a few. Some of them are still out there. I don't know if people have taken them, but trying to, just a couple weeks ago, I delivered them to all of the hotels, and there's a bed and breakfast that I still need to get one too, or some too. But, encouraging folks to take those guides. Also visit muscatine.com, our online website, and we also have the visitor's guide online that can also be accessed or sent.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thanks again.
Yeah, I've had coffee, so I can talk now.
There you go. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The request is approved with all ayes. We are on 14, communications from council members. Councilman Harvey, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing particular, Your Honor, but I know Cindy really tried to get down to Z, but couldn't quite make it.
She tried hard all day.
That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Spread?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Councilman Malcolm?
Yes, Your Honor, I have one, a couple of comments. One, I was totally honored when you asked me to go to Poland, to our sister city. Well received, treated like royalty. My wife and I were shown great favor and care. The president of Łódź, Poland, sent a book and a few trinkets from the event for you, Miss Mary. Since you couldn't come, he sent some love to you.
Oh, wow.
And he wanted to make sure you got it, so.
Thank you.
It's on camera.
Now, do you know how to speak everything now?
No.
Thank you.
I can't, I'm not even gonna pronounce his name because I know I'm gonna mess that up. But it was quite a privilege and honor, and my wife and I left laughing because they refer to Muscatine as their little sister. Because they have 3 times the population and double times the size. So it was quite a privilege and honor, and we were grateful for the privilege, and thank you that we got the opportunity to represent the city of Muscatine.
Oz, how many from Muscatine went? other than you?
My
Just-
wife and I.
Just the
Just
two
the
of
two
them.
of you?
We were the only two Americans there, which made it interesting too.
Oh,
Well, thank you, we appreciate it. Councilman Fitzgerald,
Nothing at this time, Your Honor.
Councilwoman Brockert,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Councilman Saucedo.
Just one question. I didn't realize that we had already got the information back for the branding. When would we get an update on what that is, or the logo? I didn't know that we already had that.
It's July 12th it's planned for.
Yep, the
Okay.
committee got an email or went out today. The committee will be here on July 12th to make a presentation.
Okay, good. That's all I have, Your Honor.
If you want to see the brand, you can go on the Muscatine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's on there.
It's already there. Okay.
Yes. Councilman Brackett.
Just a reminder, once again, about the Soapbox Derby. We actually have our agenda out on Facebook as well as on the MuscatineDerby.com website. So looking forward to race day coming up and the extra events that we've added, and as well as breaking the race schedule up a little bit so that it goes around the parade, give people things to do downtown all day, and a lot of other things going on that day. The Chamber's got information about what they have going on posted on their website. So look forward to seeing everybody. Also wanted to mention that I had I've got a bit of a schedule mix-up. I had previously planned on holding office hours this weekend. I am going to have to push that to the following Saturday at from 11 to 2 at the new library on the second floor, and I apologize for that. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, that at the new library on June 30th, I'll be doing a ribbon cutting at the grand opening ceremony, and it looks to be a wonderful day. Staff, did you have anything tonight?
I was going to mention the July 12th meeting, and I'll have a little light reading material in advance of that for you to be prepared.
I'd just like to share our next Coffee with the Mayor is this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock at Happy Joe's. And our city guests this coming Tuesday are Jody Royal Goodwin, our housing director, and Brett Talkington, our police chief. Don't you forget.
So that's why he got a haircut.
Let's see. Don't forget the new library. If you haven't had a chance to get over there, it's amazing. And like I said, we'll have the big grand opening celebration on June 30th at 3 o'clock. Welcome back to Oz, and thank you so much again for representing us. I don't have anything further, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Your Honor.
We are adjourned. Thank you. See? Look, I told you. Santos is the best.
Yeah.